Hey everyone, this is Chloe over at IGN, and today we're going to be going over the new Battlefield 1 gameplay footage revealed at EA's E3 press conference. So the first thing we see here is a group of German soldiers attempting to break into a damaged British Mark V. Based on the tilt, it's either stuck in the mud or it's had its treads damaged. I know from my hands-on with Battlefield 1 this week that you can damage and disable specific parts of vehicles, so that's pretty cool. Moving on, we get a shot inside the tank. The British soldiers are frantically trying to get things back in working order. Based on the messenger pigeon flying around inside, it seems the Germans are actually successfully breaking in. And if we fast forward a bit, we see that one of them has even managed to stick a Mauser pistol inside. He fires it off, deafening this character here named Edwards. We saw the same soldier in the first trailer, so it's probably safe to assume this is a recurring character in Battlefield 1 single player. So up ahead, we get a look at some of the single-seat biplanes you can pilot in the game. As we follow this one over a village, it flies up and gives us this fantastic shot of one of Battlefield 1's two behemoth vehicles, the airship. We'll talk a bit about the second vehicle in this class a bit later. So now we get into infantry combat. The first thing I want to point out here is just how fantastic this game looks. This is on a map called the Saint-Quentin Scar, a completely leveled chunk of land in northern France. This massive thing heading towards us here on the right is the second tank we know is playable in Battlefield 1, the German A7V. Next, we get a look at the Bayonet charge, a melee ability in Battlefield 1 that you can pull off by hitting the melee button while mid-sprint. This can be countered, so you really have to time this thing right. The Bayonet is an external attachment, and here we see it equipped on the MP-18 submachine gun, distinct because of that weird side-loading snail drum on the side there. Here we get a look at a range of weapons, including this bolt-action rifle, a few light machine guns, and some artillery units being used to level some buildings. As we all know, using destruction to change with the battlefield is a key part of these games, and it is of course making a return in Battlefield 1. In this scene, we see a motorcycle with a sidecar. This is a pretty fun vehicle to use with a squad mate, but the main thing I want to note about the scene is the rain. Battlefield 1 will have dynamic weather, meaning it can go from rain to shine to fog during a single match, obscuring visibility and forcing you to significantly change up your tactics mid-game, so it's more than just an aesthetic thing. From here, the trailer jumps back to the vehicles. We get a look inside another tank, this time the Renault FT-17, which is the lightest tank compared to the A7V and Mark V, at least just based on the ones that we know are going to be in Battlefield 1 so far. It's probably important to note now that there are actually two dedicated vehicle classes in Battlefield 1, the tanker and the pilot. They come with their own loadouts and spawn in their designated vehicles. These are in addition to the four infantry classes of assault, support, medic, and scout. Here we get this fantastic look at a fleet of Allied biplanes taking down a German Zeppelin. This is a look from inside the airship right here. What's really cool about these things is that once they crash, not only do they destroy everything in their path, their wreckage actually remains on the battlefield and becomes part of the arena for the rest of the match. Here we see some melee combat in action. We know that there's going to be trench shovels, clubs, sabers, bayonets, and a range of field tools that double as weapons. Another I know for sure is the syringe, which is Battlefield 1's equivalent of a defib unit that can also be used lethally against enemies. And now we have the title of the game, of course, and then we get to see the thing that I'm actually the most excited about right now. This is a group of saber-wielding soldiers on horseback somewhere in North Africa, attempting to take down an armored train. These armored trains are the second of the behemoth vehicle classes next to the airships. They weren't available on the map I played, but I'm super excited to learn more about them, as well as just how the Ottoman Empire factors into this game and what horseback combat feels like in a Battlefield game in general. It's great to see Battlefield 1 acknowledging the African and Middle Eastern theaters of World War I, and I just can't wait to see if and how that factors into single player as well. And that's it for the Battlefield 1 trailer. There was just so much packed into this 2-minute trailer. I know I didn't cover all of it. Please feel free to share anything you noticed or are excited about in the comments below. And for everything Battlefield 1, stay tuned to IGN.